Say hello to Leave the Lobby. He is a 159 ranked champion with a 29.5 KD. Some of you may recognize Leave the Lobby from this video right here, where we not only explored his unusual statistics, but we also looked into different aspects of his behavior and his life. One of those aspects being his wife, Midnight Star, although I'm not exactly sure that's the right title for her anymore, calling her his wife. That'll make a little more sense later on in this video. You may also notice that this woman is in every one of his account's profile pictures, this being one of them. But we also looked into other aspects of Leave the Lobby's behavior, such as the fact that he was putting up looking for group posts for ranked teammates. I ended up being one of them, but instead of queuing me and these other random teammates and his supposed wife into a ranked game, like we thought would happen, he actually queued us into an unranked game twice, which if what I just said is a little confusing to you and doesn't make complete sense, well, it doesn't make much sense to me either, and that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of. Which brings me to this group post right here. I came across this post yesterday, and so I immediately interested in the post. I got an invite to the party, and well, things just kind of all went downhill from there. But before I go into what exactly happened when I joined the party, I do want to tell you guys some information that I actually haven't told you from last video or in this video, and it's not exactly because I was withholding it from you. In fact, I didn't even know this information existed myself until very, very recently. So right after my initial investigation of Leave the Lobby, I had been looking into his match history, different accounts, the different games and ranked games that he had been playing on that account. I actually missed something that I only realized after I posted my initial investigation. If we take a look at Leave the Lobby's most recent matches played on this main account of his, we will see that every single one of these games was either an unranked game or a quick match, and they all took place 2 years ago. But there's something else that we're missing here, and that is the fact that he had a 21 KD across those 7 to 8 matches played. In fact, in many of those unranked games and quick matches, he didn't actually finish the entire game. You can see that in a couple of his unranked games, he either surrendered or the enemy team surrendered, and he actually had 0 kills and 0 deaths in many of those games. And then in the quick matches that he played, he actually went completely flawless, winning every single round, didn't die a single time, and got 9 kills, 6 kills in multiple of the games. It's almost as if the 5 players on the other team in those quick matches and unranked games were like these 5 players, who are all on the recruit, 0-8, 0-7, 0-6, and I don't even know how they're in my free-for-all lobby right now, because this is a public free-for-all, and I just solo queued into this, and I've never seen anything like this in my life, and I'm kind of really confused right now. Oh my gosh. It's actually... Wait, this is like an investigation of its own. So, I thought that was a little weird. I don't know if Leave the Lobby is just the greatest quick match player to ever touch the earth. I mean, 21 kills, 0 deaths. Something's not right. Right? And I don't know, but I know something's not right, which is why I was happy to see that Leave the Lobby had invited me to his party yesterday. Now, my strategy going into this conversation initially was going to be see if we could play a ranked game, right? I just wanted to see. I hadn't seen this guy play ranked. He had been queuing random solo queue players into unranked games against their consent, like without them knowing. It's just a weird thing to do, and that was a mistake on my part, because in hindsight it seems obvious, right? Even though the looking for group posts that he had put up was asking for ranked players, and I thought maybe I could have a chance of, playing with him in ranked, and I could see his skill set, see if he's actually a cheater, if he's actually an elo trapper, if he actually has the skills to back up his talk and whatnot. I should have known that that was never going to happen, because Leave the Lobby does not play ranked games. I don't know why, but he does not play ranked games. That is just not something he does, apparently. And so the question would arise, why? Why don't you play ranked games? I mean, you had a 29.5 KD this one season, top 200 champion, top 100 champion. Why don't you play ranked games anymore? And so that question would actually be answered by Leave the Lobby during our conversation. Before I go into that, I do want to give a little bit of context to our conversation with Leave the Lobby and his alleged wife, because my goal going into this conversation was to get Leave the Lobby to start talking, and then I would shut my mouth. I would let him do my work for me. I would let him kind of expose himself, kind of give me all the information I needed, because I realized that getting him to start talking was going to be the hard part. That was going to be the biggest obstacle of mine, and that was a big mistake on my part. That was actually a big mistake, because he would not stop talking. He kept talking and talking, and he kind of just straight up led the entire conversation. But Leave the Lobby's eagerness to share irrelevant details with me was actually not my biggest problem of the conversation, because there was another problem, and that was that many of the things he would tell me and just the way we would speak to each other didn't make sense. It was hard for me to follow. I'm going to be honest, and I don't think that there's really any better way for me to explain this to you than to just simply show you.
A squared plus B squared is equal to what?
Are we talking about the Pythagorean theorem? Because that would be C squared.
Yeah. What is it equal to?
Like A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Yes. Okay, wow.
I feel like that clip especially just kind of summarizes our entire conversation, where he would ask me a question and I would answer his question, and then he would ask me the same question again. And he actually did this many different times, and it made the conversation very difficult to follow for me. Now, I should mention, if you're wondering the context of that clip, I know it may seem a bit random at first that we're just casually talking about the Pythagorean theorem. His wife was actually conducting a trivia test on me, or more specifically an IQ test, to test to see if I had a high IQ or a low IQ. So I find that to be a bit ironic. However, we'll get into that a little bit later on. For now, I want to go back to why Leave the Lobby would not play ranked, because in essence, this was the topic of our conversation as a whole. Our conversation lasted about 30 minutes, 25 of which were completely non-substantive. I'll spare you the pain and boredom of having to listen to that for 25 minutes, and I'll just cut straight to the chase. Because the answer to Leave the Lobby's question as to why I don't play ranked was actually another question. He answered the question with a question. Why would I play ranked with Banana Man 037? And he asked me that question at least 4 different times, probably more than that.
Why should I queue ranked with Banana Man 037? Why should I play ranked with Banana Man 037? Why should I give Mr. Banana Man a chance and ranked with the Leave the Lobby? Why should the Leave the Lobby and X #1 champ play ranked with you?
But I actually do think my answer to this question was pretty good. I know I'm biased, but I suspect that this may be the reason he actually kept asking me the same question over and over again, is because he didn't really know where to take the conversation from there after I gave him this response.
What value do you provide me? Or Midnight, my wife?
Just like the experience one would gather from being Spoit in ranked, and Macy J and Pox Unlocks and Garfield's Doc.
So the Leave the Lobby needs
so Pineapple and Snappy, and Solo
Q
PC champion controller for the first time in history.
Spoit.
4,000 in the world.
I'm sorry,
not
what
just
you
champion, 4,000 in the world. The 1.3
KD,
KD, 1.3 win loss.
What about PC?
Oh, I was just saying how I solo queued the PC champion for the first time in history.
You solo queued the PC champion. Oh my god.
On controller.
Man,
on console.
Yeah, on controller. Yeah. Wow, I'm lost at words, but
thank you.
You know,
I'm blown away too.
I was too. In fact, rather than this response of mine sparking insults by him or deteriorating the conversation into an argument of sorts, he would actually often start to just tell a random story that I didn't ask for or want to hear, but he would go ahead and tell me anyway.
Once upon a time,
there's
a little boy by the name of Leave the Lobby, right? And he ran into a custom group post.
Or he would actually agree with me and say, wow, that's so impressive. I should totally play ranked with you then. We can play that clip as well.
I am just shocked, and I'm so scared to queue a game with them because I'd be so embarrassed to do so bad in front of Mr. Banana Man 037.
Nah, that's okay. I wouldn't.
And I really could use your help in a ranked lobby.
As long as you play third rank. But in the midst of me trying to answer these questions about why he has a 21 KD in his casual matches, why he puts up looking for group posts and then queues solo queue teammates who are trying to play ranked games into unranked matches, this actually brings me to his wife. Because multiple times throughout our conversation, he would refer to Midnight Star as his wife. I remember one specific instance in this conversation where we can play a clip of him calling her his wife.
Our window's getting a little tight here, you know, we have a wife and kids. Do you have a Midnight Star? Do you have a wife? Anyone?
Not yet. Some of you may remember I mentioned this briefly in the first video as well, where I explained why exactly I thought that this may be his wife and how he kind of talked about her and how she was complaining that he wasn't taking her to Paris, but instead took her to what was it, Disney World or something like that. But all of that is to actually bring me to one very important part of the conversation near the end of our talk, where he actually refers to this woman as his girlfriend, and then quickly corrects himself and says, well, wife, as you would say. We can play that clip for you guys.
So what if I spend all my money on my girlfriend? What about it? Excuse me, my wife, according to you. My bad.
So, like, where does all your... I'm not gonna ask that. That's too personal. All I'm saying is maybe you should go to, like...
Now, this is one of those specific moments where I don't know if this is his wife. I don't know if this is his girlfriend. But I do know that something weird is going on. And I don't like it. I don't like it. And you can see by his wife's reaction that she seems a little uncomfortable as well. I don't think I'd be the only one to say that, to point that out, that when he kind of says, oh, my girlfriend, no, I mean my wife, she kind of laughs hesitantly, she kind of gets a little quiet, stumbles over her words a little bit. I don't know, you can call me crazy, you can call me whatever you want, I don't care. I don't like it. The bottom line here is that something weird is going on, and I don't know what it is, but I do know something weird is going on, and soon I'm gonna know what's going on. But it was also around this point in the conversation when Leave the Lobby actually had another issue on his hands, and I've coined this problem to be the projection problem, which I'm going to get into in a second, but there is something I need to clear up first, because while we're on the topic of Leave the Lobby's wife, who I guess we'll call Princess Haley, like we did last video. You can go there if you want to figure that one out. Princess Haley would, towards the end of our conversation, conduct an IQ test on me, which I do think is a little ironic, because Princess Haley, towards the end of our conversation, didn't insult my intelligence. I don't want to say she insulted me directly, but she did ask me a question. And it went along the lines of, have you ever taken an IQ test before? Do you know what your IQ is? And it was just a question at the time, but I could sense disparagement in the question, disdain, scorn. There was a little bit of all three of those involved in the asking of that question. And so I did just want to point out to you guys that Princess Haley insulted my attire. She insulted my shirt selection in the thumbnails.
It's the pink shirt. You're always wearing that ugly
Yeah, I do like
pink
the pink shirt. I do like the pink shirt.
Do you
That's
wash
my favorite
it?
shirt. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I'm actually looking at your YouTube right now. Yesterday, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago, 6 days ago, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't think you put it in the washer.
I was very confused at first. I didn't know what she was rambling on about, and then I realized that she thinks because I have the same shirt in every thumbnail, right? I have that pink shirt in every thumbnail. She thinks that I wear the shirt every day because it's in my thumbnail that I upload every single day. But it's not. Just because the shirt is in the thumbnail doesn't mean I wore it that day. I'm sorry, I wanted to point that out. I just thought it was a little ironic that she was insulting me for wearing the same shirt every day when her insult was completely baseless in the first place. But with that being said, I do just want to quickly point out the projection problem as well that I mentioned earlier with Leave the Lobby, where he just had an issue with projecting things that I wasn't even asking about, right? So, for example, there was one instance when he was throwing some insults at me. He was accusing me of being, I think, a crybaby or complaining a lot, something of that nature, right? And so my response to that was to ask him for an example of when I may have done that, right? Because I'm not a perfect person. I'm a flawed man. I've certainly made mistakes in the past. So I thought maybe he has a valid criticism of me. Well, his response to that was,
why is it you seem to complain a lot while being dogged? I'm just trying to process why your opinion would be relevant to the Leave the Lobby.
Wait, can you give me some examples? I'm confused.
Do you think I care if you call me an English? Do you think that hurts my feelings?
Wait,
do you think my KD is gonna go down because of that? Do you think that makes me dogged?
Now, I'm not a body language expert or a psychologist of any sorts, but that seems a little bit like projection to me. You know, we weren't even talking about elo trapping, although I did ask him earlier in the conversation, are you an elo trapper? And this is what he had to say. Are you an elo trapper?
No. I'm gonna let you answer that one for you. Alright?
I'm gonna let
Can
you
you answer
answer
that
that one for you. In other words, he's an elo trapper. I think it's very clear. I mean, if you asked me, or if I asked you, are you an elo trapper? You would just say no, right? Like I would say no, you would say no. That the answer is no. Anything other than no means you're an elo trapper. But there is a second instance of this projection taking place where I ended up asking Leave the Lobby if he would play a ranked game right now. Don't even play with me. You don't have to play with me. Sure, I'm terrible at the game. You don't want Banana Man to throw your elo, right? Even though you're 0 elo in because you've never even played a ranked game. So I asked him, would you play a ranked game without me? And his response to that was, just play the clip.
Yeah, I know. I can play ranked. Yes, I can play ranked. Yeah, I play ranked right now. No. I absolutely can't play a ranked game right now. Will I? Probably not. You know why?
I never said you couldn't queue a ranked game right now.
I could queue right now.
Okay. But now again, I don't know. That response, it seems weird to me. It does. I don't care. It's weird. It's you don't respond to someone saying, will you play a ranked game right now with, I can play a ranked game, but I'm not going, but I can. I can play ranked. I never said you couldn't play a ranked game. So why are you telling me that you can? I didn't ask if you can. I asked if you were going to. So why did he feel the need to point out that he's able to play a ranked game? I never even accused you of not being able to play a ranked game. It's weird to me. And I feel like there's a little bit of projection going on there. But with all of that being said, this actually brings me, spoiler alert, to the final part of our conversation, where we ended up, or I guess I should say, Leave the Lobby and his wife, who I really am not sure if I should be calling her that, they ended up conducting an IQ test on me. I don't really know what their plan here was. I guess it was trying to find a gotcha with me. And so I guess I can just kind of play a short montage of those questions for you guys right here, where they were asking me questions about the quadratic equation, the largest ocean, fireworks, like what country invented fireworks. I don't really think these are IQ test questions. I thought that was more of like solving puzzles and seeing how you can like put things together in your head. But I guess trivia is fun as well.
A squared plus B squared is equal to what?
Are we talking about the Pythagorean theorem? Because that would be C squared.
What is the quadratic formula?
What is it? It's like negative B plus or minus
square root, go ahead.
Of like, what is it? 4AC, something like that.
Minus?
Wait, really? Oh, minus B squared divided by A? 2A? Is that right?
We'll give you 0.2 points.
Wait,
Figure
really?
that.
What is
What a
the
guy.
largest ocean? I'm asking you, Banana Man.
I believe
What
it's the
subject are you
Pacific
good at,
Ocean.
Banana Man?
Although
Pick
they
one
did
subject.
add like a new ocean recently.
Pacific.
Oh, let's go. See, I was right.
Pacific.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
Yo, look it up. Didn't they add a new ocean recently?
What landmark stands as the symbol of freedom in the United States?
Uh-oh.
Statue of Liberty?
Oh
Ding,
my
ding,
God.
ding. This gets everybody. Which river is considered the longest in South America?
South America. Amazon? Is that a
Ding, ding,
river?
ding. Who wrote Romeo and Juliet? This is easy.
Shakespeare?
Surprised you
is
got
chat?
that. You don't seem like a reader. What is the Roman numeral for XVI?
16?
Wow. Okay.
Is that right? Are
Yeah.
you just gonna like keep asking until I get them wrong? I feel like there's like,
No,
No.
there's just a few more.
okay.
Fireworks were invented in what country during the 7th century? 7th century. Getting a little off track here.
Great Britain? How would they even know who invented fireworks?
China.
China.
Everything comes from China. What is the approximate diameter of the Earth in miles?
In miles. Holy sweat. Well, I always see like the analogies. It's like this string could like go around the earth 3.5 times. So I'm trying to think of like how long that string was. Maybe like 26,000?
No.
Alright, Mr. Banana
is
Man, your time's up. Get the f out.
And so, clearly, I have now been kicked from the party, but there is one more thing that I do want to point out. And that is that I did end up researching the circumference of the Earth afterwards. And it is actually just under, or around, 25,000 miles.
5 seconds left.
So, I feel like my answer at the end there was actually a pretty good answer. But with that being said, the question of why Leave the Lobby had a 21 KD in the last 8 matches he has played in unranked and quick matches has yet to be solved. The question as to why he puts up looking for group posts, finding solo queue ranked teammates who he can unknowingly put in his unranked matches with his alleged wife remains to be answered. Is Midnight Star actually his wife? The question remains to be answered. In fact, these 3 questions are just the tip of the iceberg, and so if anyone has more information, or if you're connecting some dots that I'm not connecting together, I encourage you to comment down below what exactly that is. And while I may not know what is going on in this situation, I do know something weird is going on, and soon I'm gonna know what's going on.